Hello everyone out there in YouTube land. There's a lot of videos out there about the Aprilia Tuono V4 1100, and so what I like to contribute in terms of the Tuono is the process and how much it costs when you crash a Tuono. So I was doing the track experience track day, and it was held at Spring Mountain Racetrack in Pahrump, Nevada, and I was on their east course, and I low-sided on turn number 5. I remember being comfortable with the speed of entering the corner, but as I was exiting, I did notice I was going a little bit too fast, and I had an option of throttling down or committing to the turn. I made the wrong decision to commit to the turn. I went off the course, and the way that course on that turn is set up is it's gravel immediately outside the course, so my tires went onto the gravel. I immediately low-sided, and luckily the investment I made in equipment and safety gear paid off. Other than a sore shoulder and a little scratch on my hand, I basically went away unscathed. I'll show my equipment in a little bit. I was also lucky to put a fair amount of crash protection on my bike, which prevented it from scratching the frame, which renders it a totaled bike. So from everything that I'm told from people that have seen it, they're telling me that most of it's cosmetic. Should be able to fix it without it being too expensive, so we will see. Kudos to the track experience staff. They were just like they briefed us in the morning time in case of an accident. Do this, do this, do this. It was very clear, so I followed that. They immediately had staff that arrived on hand, had me checked up on me, made sure I was out of harm's way, and they towed the bike back to where we were all parked, where my car was, and I put it on my trailer and strapped it down. So overall, I'm very appreciative to track experience, to have the right safety precautions in place, the right safety requirements on both rider and bike in place, so I can walk away from this experience learning something and not be seriously hurt. So let's take a look at the bike. So here is the Tuono. Again, it's a 2018 Aprilia Tuono V4 1100 factory. Very nice bike, great on the road and at the track. Totally a rider's fault, and not a poor reflection on the bike's capability at all, which is what's shameful about this whole thing. Such a nice bike. Too bad my skills weren't up to par. But just looking at the damage, starting at the very front, luckily I had these fork protectors, because it looks like it broke off the fork protector, but it protected the fork and the brakes. I have some minor damage on the wheels. I don't know if I'll be able to reuse those wheels. For the most part, the damage is only on the left side. On the right side, you couldn't even tell that there were any, like it was ever in an accident. So But continuing on, my light needs to be replaced. The bar ends need to be replaced. The shift, the clutch handle needs to be replaced. My fairing. Luckily, my frame slider worked. The impact snapped it off, but as far as I know, the frame is in great shape. I'm told that it's so strong that there wouldn't be the chances of my frame being twisted is little to none unless I was to high side or the bike flipped. But in this case, it just low sided and slid, so there shouldn't be any damage. The engine case is scratched up. My radiator may have been cracked because all of the coolant leaked out. The quick shifter snapped off. More than likely that needs to be replaced. The exhaust looks fine. I don't know how much. Looks like other than the fairing being scratched up, everything held in pretty good here. My shifter got bent backwards. That kind of gives you an idea of how strong the impact was. Again, my shifter is bent out of shape. Looks like my kickstand is fine. My tank protector probably did its job, and a little bit. I have swing arm protector that probably protected the chain and the back end pretty good. And other than dust, looks like I got some tail carbon fiber protector, and it looks like there's a little bit of scuff right there. And so it did its job. Hopefully that's the extent of the damage. I don't mind if there's little scrapes and scratches here and there, as long as it runs pretty, runs like it used to. If there are scrapes, it's a good reminder to not be overconfident, and instead of trying to go fast, just enjoy the track day experience. That's pretty much the damage that I see so far with the bike. But the bike still turns on, so I think internally it's working pretty good. Again, I have to start getting quote and see if my motorcycle contacts can help me get all this fixed without costing an arm and a leg. So this is the aftermath of my gear. I totally credit the Shoei Dainese and the requirements that track experience sets. Other than, being a little bit sore and having one little scratch on my hand, I basically walked away totally unscathed. And I'm gonna start from head to toe. And so this one is my Shoei RF 1200 with the self-darkening face shield. And so I actually had a modular, but as part of the track experience requirement, they require a DOT Snell rated full face helmet. So luckily they did require that, because this helmet definitely did its job and protected me. Some of the other riders told me they saw a plume of dust when I crashed. But not only was my face protected, dust didn't even enter the helmet. My face was so well protected that my eyes were open the whole time. I can just see the gravel and the sky, and I was so calm and I felt so protected that I could actually see the cracks and the scratches appear on my face shield as the accident was happening. So I'm gonna have to get a new helmet, but when I get another Shoei, I'm gonna feel totally confident that it's gonna save my noggin when I need it to. So kudos to Shoei and kudos to Track Experience for requiring the safety and making a great product. So this is my Dainese super speed textile jacket. Normally you have to wear leathers, either a full suit or a two-piece that's zipped together, but being that I'm in level 1, the slowest level, Track Experience allows textile or ballistic type of material. And so I always wondered if there was enough protection, and the answer after today is yes. So what I was told was it's all about the hard parts. The textile material will more than likely hold for the speed that a level 1 rider will go, but it's all about, are the necessary hard parts there to protect you? And the hard parts that came with this jacket is the shoulder protectors. There's a dent here. I could actually feel the scratches as my head and my shoulder were going across the gravel. It totally makes sense now why Dainese has these hard protectors on the shoulder, and that just goes back to like all the racing experience they have at the pro level. The human body falls on the shoulder just by the way your body position is on the bike. The first thing you hit is your shoulders, and other than my shoulders being a little bit sore, it took the brunt end of the damage. You can see that it's dented, it's completely scratched up, ripped, and I'm sure without these I would have, just shoulders alone, I would have been really busted up. The other hard part is my forearms. You can see that I slid on my forearms quite a bit. The material held up pretty good, and my forearm not sore at all whatsoever. Luckily, the least amount of protection I have is at the chest area. They do have an optional chest protector. I didn't go for that. Luckily, I didn't contact on my chest. I'm sure by the way my hands kind of feel, a little bit sore right now, my hands probably took most of the brunt. So now this side is probably where I slid, and I didn't slide for a very long time, and already it wore through the material, and I'm sure it wore down to the hard protector underneath, which again protected me. And so I'm very grateful for that. I have a back protector. My back feels totally fine. Back protector not only protects against collisions or impact, brute force impact on your back, but it's honeycomb, so it lets in a lot of air. But there wasn't a whole lot of scratches back here, so I think where I landed the most, I'm guessing, is the shoulders and the arm. But my jacket does zip together with my Dainese pants, so it won't ride up when you crash. So moving on to my Dainese Drake Air. It's a textile pants that has armor, but it also gives you breathability while you're riding on the road. And so I obviously, now looking at this, fell on my left hip, and which makes sense because the left side of my bike is damaged, and I slid for a little bit on pavement, but then I touched gravel. And behind here is a very thin hip protector, but the material held together long enough to protect my skin. I completely walked away. I didn't even know I was hurt on my left side, or I fell on my left side, until now looking at the pants. Then coming down here, I obviously made contact with my knee, but there's a hard protector for the knee and the shin, so I have no pain whatsoever. Paid off in spades. It protected my joints. Looking on this side, looks like my right side was pretty good, which makes sense because I fell on my left side. So that was pretty much all the damage right here. Fell on my left side, the pants held together. I didn't even know the extent of the damage until now looking at it. So again, great product from Dainese. I can only imagine their more race-oriented product line will be even more durable, and kudos to Track Experience for requiring good equipment. My gloves, I know these did their jobs because my hands are still a little bit sore. My palm area, but I have no damage on my hands other than this little scratch. That's it. I'm a little bit sore, but that's it. But these did their job. You can see the knuckles are kind of scratched up. The TPC, or the hard sliders, I put my hands down for sure to slow my slide. The little carbon fiber pieces protecting the knuckles, they're a little bit scuffed up, but particularly the pinky protector. Now, I've always wondered how good pinky protectors are. Now I know. My pinky is totally fine. Obviously, falling on my left side with my left pinky would hit the ground first, and so took the brunt. I completely didn't even have any pain in my hand, and I didn't even know I fell on this part until now. But the DCP, distortion control protection, did its job. I'm sure my pinky would have been broken, but there's hard parts underneath here that protected my skin and lessened the impact. So once again, Dainese's race experience and fortifying the areas that hit the ground first when you crash really paid off. My right hand was in better shape. The last is my boots. So these boots, they're actually touring boots. They're called, it's something Dainese Torque boots in, and the in signifies that you wear it underneath your pant layer. Normally, Track Experience requires that your boots go over, but again, for level 1 riding, you're slower, and the main point of the boot is to cover above the ankles, have hard parts so it protects from contact and abrasion. And so they looked at my pants and how they fit over my shoes, so they knew that it wasn't going to ride up on me, and these were good quality boots that pass their tech inspection, and they're right. You know, Track Experience is right. My boots are scuffed up. You can tell falling on my left side, the left DCP is all scratched up. But other than that, it's dusty. I could probably continue to wear these, and I probably will. I might even continue to wear the gloves for the streets. And so I'm gonna have to get a new helmet. I'm gonna excuse me, I'm gonna have to get new pants and new jacket, and I'll probably get new gloves, and but I'll wear these gloves for the streets. But all in all, very happy and very lucky and very fortunate that I invested in the equipment that really saved me today. So on to the repair quotes.